This is the fortress, the cannons. If you look hard, you'll see the cannons are still in their original position. Over here is the Caribbean Sea.
This is the Puente del Rey. It's a very well-known and very old bridge. It's almost 500 years old, and this is where all the gold and silver from the south would pass over.
People from all over the world come here to invest. What we can see here, all this is Punta Paitilla, which is the main area for people with money in this city.
We're in the main popular open-air shopping mall in Panama City, and here we've got a real melting pot of humanity, of cultures and of sales points. And we've got native people and others of African origin.
Right now she's doing beadwork. Look. And this is used to decorate her body, on her feet and on her hands. It's a typical element of the Kuna people's culture.
There's a place where, in the same morning, you can swim in the Atlantic and fish in the Pacific. And if you prefer, do business and cross Central America in the wink of an eye. That's Panama. A corner of the Caribbean whose existence is based on a blend of cultures. And here in Panama City, we have colonial houses and buildings. But just a few minutes away, we've got really breathtaking beaches, like this one. There's room here for everyone, West Indians, coloured people, native Panamanian tribes. We start this journey through the centre of the continent. What a fantastic place this is.
Yes, exactly. This is Gamboa Resort, a place which is rather like a protected natural area. See, we're surrounded by the tropical forest, and yet we're only about 20 minutes from the centre of Panama City. Hello, how are you? Good morning. Thank you. But we're ready to travel along the canal.
Have a good journey and hope you see everything.
If we're lucky, we might be able to see everything. Crocodiles, alligators, monkeys, iguanas.
Iguanas, sloths.
Are these animals dangerous?
No, they just eat tourists.
I see. Can we touch the crocodiles?
Yes.
Them too?
Okay.
They're very close by. What a great time we're having.
Look at all this. It's lovely, isn't it? Right now we're on Lake Gatun. Back then, when the Panama Canal was being built in more or less 1914, this was an artificial lake which was the largest one in the world, see?
We've got a neighbour.
Yes, that massive ship we can see over there is crossing from the Pacific to the Atlantic. You can see it's totally packed with containers. About 30 ships a day cross the canal, paying their tolls, which is a real boom for the economy of Panama, and always has been. They say that with all the rocks extracted to build the Panama Canal, if we loaded them onto a freight train, its length would be 4 times the Earth's circumference. You can see a freight ship with all the containers there. Apparently, the person who paid least to cross the Panama Canal was someone who swam across and paid 36 cents. Ask him now. Ask the captain of that ship. Ask him what he paid to do the crossing. Look up there. In those 2 treetops, we can see what we call howler monkeys, which are really a rather antisocial type of monkey. They don't like people at all. So when they hear humans, they start screeching and howling. Look, there's another one. That one's got a white face. Is it a tete monkey? No. What's it called?
It's capuchin.
Ah, yes, capuchin. Hey, how great! On one of these trips by boat, a monkey jumped in and took a packet of crisps from a girl and then gave her a slap before jumping off. They're really very naughty creatures, absolute rascals. Look, over there is a sloth. It's an animal with 3 claws. Right, well now we're going to Portobello, which is a really interesting place, very charming, and it's a must. It was one of the Spanish colonial towns. Now we're in Portobello. It's taken us about an hour and a half to get here from Panama City on the Pacific to the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, which we'll see very soon. To start with, we're going to visit the Church of San Felipe, which is right in front of us. This is the fort of San Geronimo, which belonged to Spain and was used to protect them from pirate attacks. It was a trade centre, a very important strategic post for the Spanish, because here they traded with massive amounts of gold and silver, precious metals, especially between Spain and the American continent. Here's the fortress, the cannons. If you look hard, you'll see that the cannons are in their original position. So this is the Caribbean Sea. Before we were near the Pacific, and now we're on the Caribbean. Now we'll take a boat which is going to take us to a very pretty island on the other side of the headland. Well, I've changed my clothes, so let's go to the beach and have a swim. In we go.
Fine.
Come on. Look, guys, look at the water, this turquoise colour.
There's a monkey over there. Can you see it?
Are there monkeys here
Yeah,
too?
up in the fig tree.
Ah, yes, look, there are monkeys up there. Yes, today I've seen more monkeys than I've ever seen before. If we go further in, we might start to see other animals as well. But of course it's a bit risky. For example, you might come across a snake. But now we have people, the skippers of the boats, to lend us a hand. But normally they drop you here and you say, pick me up in 2 hours' time. Then they come back and get you. Hey, look at this. Have you seen all these ants carrying those huge leaves?
I wouldn't stand in their way.
The ants are quite big, but the leaves are proportionally much bigger than them. Look at how they carry them.
They are huge.
They're working hard. What would happen if we steal one of the leaves? Well, the ant comes with it, so let's just leave them to get on with their work. Right, now we're near Puerto Frances, French harbour, which is another island, a real paradise, totally uninhabited, so we're going to be alone on the beach. Not very nice, is it? Apparently this is a private beach, as our companions have just told me. A private beach, but they only lets anyone have a swim here, as long as they keep it clean.
We're in Sal Si Puedes, which means leave if you can, which is quite an amusing name. It's a place where people buy and sell almost anything. Basically now we're in the part that sells elements of the typical Panamanian national costume, the skirts, sandals, shoes. Then there's an area where they sell things related to Santeria. That's a religion of African origins. And you buy things like healthcare products, good luck charms, love potions.
It seems a very easygoing life here.
Yeah, it's an easy life if you're an easygoing sort of person. If you don't get fazed by things and you speak to people nice and calm. People here are really nice. You've got an easygoing life, not like the European way of life, always rushing around to get things done. Everything here goes really slowly. If you can't get used to it, it can be a bit annoying. Personally, I like it. I've taken on the tropical way of life.
What an atmosphere.
Well, this is like the main open-air mall in Panama City. And it's a real melting point of humanity, of cultures, and of sales points. Here we've got, local people, others of African origin, the occasional lost tourist. They'll try to sell you bath salts, miraculous bath salts. See how many there are?
They're very popular, it seems.
Everywhere. And if you carry on, you'll find traditional medicines, treatments for your soul, all over your body. And then there's the restaurant waiting for you when you get the urge to eat.
One of the highest points in Panama.
Yes, probably the highest point of the city, and it's got views over the historical centre and Panama Bay. And where we're walking now, we'll be able to see the Panama Canal and Balboa Harbour. All the commercial activities over on this side. Look, a ship's just leaving the canal for the Pacific Ocean. It's sailing out of the harbour now, which is that's the largest harbour in the Pacific in all America. And now here we've got the whole city, a view of the city, or at least most of it, the most important part of the city as well, because over the last 3 or 4 years there's been a lot of building going on. When I came here 5 years ago, there was 40% less building, and now the city's enormous.
Whichever way we look, there's something to admire.
Yes, Panama sure has its fantastic views. Here on the right you can see the Americas Bridge, that's a national symbol. First bridge to be built across the Panama Canal. It's also the beginning of the Coastway, or Paseo Amador, depending on how you want to call it. And we've got these 3 islands that are connected up with all the earth dug out for the construction of the canal. Now it's a very touristy place where people come to do sports. People come from Panama City, a very safe place. They even come here at night. There's usually a cool breeze. When you get to the end, you've got great views of the cities because you're almost in the Pacific itself.
We're at the top of Cerro Azul Heights. This is the main waterfall. Look what a fantastic body of water we have here. Ready for a swim? Look what inviting waters.
Can you drink it?
Shall we try?
They don't lack water here.
Definitely not. Panama is one of the countries with the best resources of the area in that field.
I know it sounds weird. It's getting cold in Panama.
Well, this place is about 1,000 meters above sea level, so of course the climate is a bit cooler. What a pleasure.
It's spitting rain.
Yes, it is. We call it pajarreque. And it's really the condensation from the forest that's wetting you. Can you see the clouds over there?
We're officially touching the sky.
That's true, and that's why it's so misty.
This is historical. A Panamanian in a coat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
How's
Hello,
it going?
what's up?
Good afternoon.
Quite cold here, isn't it? Tropical it may be, but you need a coat. Very pure air. You can smell it.
No, we're not lacking air.
Humidity, no? I don't know if you... When there's less clouds, it's much later on. The sun is quite high in the sky. Look, you can see the banks of the canal. You can see as far as the city itself.
Now we're going to take a boat over to another island. It's just a few minutes away, over there. Hey, we've got a bit of a breeze, so it's going to be a bit choppy, but there's nothing to worry about. That's all part of the adventure. Here we go then. Over here first.
How many islands are we going to find?
Well, around here there are quite a few, but today we're going to visit two.
Are they like small villages?
Yes, that's true. Each island is like a different village. The people live mainly off traditional fishing methods, but on the island, many of them harvest the coconuts, and then there's also the tourism, of course.
If you look, there are the children. They're fishing, and practically since they start walking, they learn to swim as well. The first place you're going to find in any Kuna village or community is a cafeteria or a restaurant. There are also telephone boxes, all the advantages and disadvantages of communication. Soon they will probably have the internet in some communities, don't you think?
Yes, there are.
There are 2 or 3 communities that have the internet, the corner store and the local supermarket.
A grocery store too.
Yes, a shop.
They've got everything.
Yes, and they've got refrigerators too.
How many people can live here?
In Sodup,
Well, about 900 people.
900 people.
And on the smallest island?
There might be about 30.
And on the largest one, up to 5,000.
5,000.
5,000. The main street is looked after by the whole community. It's swept twice a day. Look at the front of the houses. This is part of the window, which on the other side becomes a door. They're very simple.
And do they stand up to bad weather?
Well, actually, on this island, you'll see that the houses are built very close to each other. That gives them a certain protection of level against the sea breezes. Here you can see the Kuna flag, the traditional flag at this moment in time when they're commemorating the Tool Revolution of 1925, when they claimed for their customs to be respected. They earn a living by making handicrafts. Right now, there is a man who's making baskets and fans. Look how lovely. How beautiful they are.
Baskets?
Baskets.
Yeah.
This is totally ecological, and what those hands make is priceless. The hands of the elderly are doing this. No, you can't put a price on it. And they're strong. You can use them for fishing too. Right now, she's doing beadwork. Look. And this is to decorate one's body, one's feet and hands. It's a distinguishing feature of Kuna culture. We've also got the elaborately decorated shirts, or molas, for the women, their traditional costume. They also wear a saburete, a sort of short skirt, which they wear over their dress. Here you can see the costumes for women.
Like a walk-in wardrobe?
Like an open-air cupboard to keep out the damp, the hammocks to sleep in, their beds. Let's see if we can get to the other island, Isla Aguja, which has a lovely beach. The weather today is giving us a helping hand. It's certainly hot. The sun is coming and going like everything in life. You'll see the sun may not shine for quite a while. These are the families that look after the administration of the island. See?
Yes, and one of the families that look after that other island, this island community has about 82 members.
From an overpopulated island to a deserted one.
To a desert island, yes, with a few huts if you want to stay the night. Prices are very cheap. For example, they might start about $20, including food. I don't know exactly because it depends on the island. Prices sometimes vary a little.
This is paradise.
This is a place to come and enjoy, but with lots of time. Well, now we're in what's left of the old Panama City. You'll see that there are some derelict buildings here. It was founded in 1519, and it was the first city on the Pacific coast in America, in all America. And it was a very important city too. You'll have noticed that there's not much left, but it was a fair-sized city in those days.
Who destroyed it?
It was destroyed by pirates, specifically Morgan the pirate. This is what's left, and the most important element is the tower of the cathedral. It's a very emblematic place for the Republic of Panama. In Panama, when you talk about Panama and you have to mention a building or a structure, then you'll talk about the tower. Well, this is Puente del Rey. It's a very famous and a very old bridge. It's about 500 years old, more or less, and this is where all the gold and silver from the south would pass over. The bridge leads on to the crossroads, which is a famous cobbled road, and there the donkeys and mules carried goods to the Caribbean, and from there they were shipped to Spain. Look, this is Bolivar Square, and it's perhaps the oldest square in the old centre of Panama City. And we've got here the Church of San Francisco, and also the Renaissance-style theatre, National Theatre of Panama, built in about 1908, and it's really quite spectacular. This is a very typical place, colonial. You can buy handcrafts and homemade jewellery. We are in practically the oldest part of Panama now. There are places that have been restored and others that haven't, not yet. All this is the San Felipe district. New commercial premises have been built. It's all being restored, and it's now the most expensive area of the whole of Panama City. You know, right here where we are now. This is Cathedral Square, which is also known as Independence Square. And over there you've got the cathedral itself. It's also called Independence Square because this is where independence from Colombia was declared in 1903.
A ship is passing through. We have to cross over quickly if we want to get to the other bank, because when it has to go from one level to another, the sluice gates are open. They've started opening the sluice gates because the water's gone down the 8 metres it needs to, and now the ship has to go through the next lock, which has to go down another 8 metres. The lakes are about 20 metres above sea level, and this lock is how ships go either up or down. In this case, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. The first to try and build this canal were the French, but they couldn't finish the job, and in the end, the USA completed the unfinished work. And this is Balboa Avenue. It's a very long street. What we can see here, all this is Punta Paitilla, which is where the rich people of the city live.
Is there a lot of money here?
Quite a bit, because there are a lot of banks here. And all this is the financial area, the place where all the banks are in Panama. People come here from all over the world to invest.
Now we're in Mi Pueblito, which is located on the slopes of Cerro Ancon hill. It's surrounded by lots of vegetation, and here we have the three cultures: the locals, the West Indians, and the natives. This is really a replica of a country village. Here we've got the mayor's house, the barbers, the post office, and also the museum of the Panamanian national costume. This is our pollera, the traditional national costume, which the people from Panama usually wear. A pair of black or navy blue trousers and a guayaba. This is called a guayaba, and it's the typical Panama hat.